Skolnick. I'm here at the offices of Guitar World, and we're going to be looking at my new trio album, Veritas, and a track that was originally done by Metallica called Fade to Black. I'd always wanted to do a Metallica song that everybody could agree on was, a great Metallica song. And it was one that was influential to me. It came out when I was in high school from the Ride the Lightning album. And that was one of those tunes that made me realize, wow, there's a lot you could do with this. It's such a powerful tune. And the same emotion that I felt when I heard it, when I was in high school, I think a lot of people felt it. I think it definitely communicated something magical to people all over the world. And I never forgot that. And I thought, okay, if I can do an arrangement of this tune that sort of captures some of that energy, then it's worth doing. I don't want to do it just for the sake of doing it. Open strings are, one of these things that give the guitar its character. So I try to use open strings whenever I can. One of my favorite improvisational guitarists is Pat Metheny, who is so great at open strings. Like, I'm amazed at some of the combinations he finds. He experiments with open tunings, I know sometimes. I haven't done a lot of that. I'm starting to do that. But on this record, it was all all standard tunings except for a couple songs where I played in drop D. For Fade to Black, the original starts out with this riff, which has the open G string. And they actually have a couple different riffs that are kind of in the same position. Right? So I said, okay, let's take that. What if we do it up an octave? That's a little tricky because you have to finger it like this. Okay, so I loop that. So that's something I'll step on the loop pedal. So then that's playing. There's a couple different ways of playing this. So at the very end of this, I use the open E string. Yeah. So I'll do that a couple different ways. It depends on how I'm feeling. But once that's looped, then I go into harmonics. My drummer plays like a military processional beat on the snare, like a marching band thing. And then I'm doing these harmonics. So it's close to that on the record. Again, live, I might stretch out with that a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. At the very end, I'm just going to skip to the very end of the tune because it goes back to that rhythm. But I alluded to the fact that there's a couple other Metallica riffs, right, that happen in that position. So we actually come out of the middle section by quoting one of the other songs. Try that again. Right? So that's just a little nod to that other song that some of you may have heard. Okay, so once the loop is going for the opening rhythm, I play the original Kirk Hammett solo, but modified to fit this this timing. And Nathan, our bass player, plays it with me. So it's in unison with upright bass and hollow body guitar. So I play it here. Okay, so that last thing is just a climb up the natural minor scale. So now the main groove is happening, kind of the fast drum and bass style groove. Now, very often with transitions, you come out of one part, it's the end of one section, but the beginning of another. So this A minor cluster here with the ninth, that becomes the first chord of the next section. All right, so I go from here into these chords, right? So what this is a C major chord. You'd probably see it listed as a 6-9 chord because it has the 6 and the 9. But played over a C root, sounds like that. And you'll hear that often in tunes like, Green Dolphin Street. All right, but there, in this context, we use it really quick. So I'm just going to play the chords so you can hear how they sound in context, and then I can describe it. One more time. Okay, so what those are, again, we start with that A minor. Second time around, I play that here. In both cases, it's technically an A minor 7 chord. To C major 7, which I play as C6 9. That's just a G triad. So I don't always play the root. I could play the root, but the bass player's got that covered. So often in jazz, you leave out the root. You just let the bass player play that. E minor 7, basic voicing. I'll play that with the root. Sometimes I'll play it like that, which is minor 11. You have choices. Next time around, A minor 7 with the root on top. A flat major 7. So now I'm changing it. Now I'm changing I'm changing from the original chord pattern, which is just A minor, C, G, E minor. So now I'm going A minor, A flat major 7, E minor 7, E flat major 7. the next time around, it's the vocal melody. So that's always the challenge, is playing the chord melody on jazz guitar. So in this case, I did the octave lower using the open strings. Okay, so that follows the original A, C, G, E minor. But now is when it gets tricky. So now I'm going to throw in the substitute chords. Oops, okay. So I did something that I try to avoid whenever possible, but sometimes it's unavoidable, and that is changing a melody note. This is done in jazz sometimes when you really want a certain chord, but the original vocal melody doesn't fit. So I only changed one note. Normally it's the last three notes of that line is. All right, so I made it just so it would fit that, give it some color. Okay, now notice the open strings for this A flat. It's convenient because that's the vocal melody. And with this A flat, right, this is an A flat major 7 chord. I hope I'm not losing people. I know this stuff used to really confuse me back in the day. If I analyze the notes of the melody, right, that's the 3rd of the chord, the 4th of the chord, in this case called the sharp 11. And this note right here, that changes the quality a little bit. That makes it what's called a major 7 sharp 5 chord, which I could also play like that. Common jazz way. You can also look at that as a C triad with A flat in the bass. Very cool sounding chord. So then the next time around, I play this up an octave. So 1, 2, 3, 4. What I'm doing there, it's very hard to do without the band, by the way, because it's, I hide behind the bass player. He's playing the roots. Here I'm trying to grab some of the roots, like on this G. Basically it's A minor, C6-9, like I did before, G major, E minor, right, like the original. Now is where the funny chords come in. A major 7 sharp 5. So this is a cool voicing I've always wanted to use, and it seems to fit right there. E minor, right, to E flat major 7. So there, I'm basically doing this chord, which is the 6-9 chord. Yeah, I'm cheating a little bit because it's a major chord. but I'm just moving it around. So I'm taking little liberties between the major and minor tonalities. And it sounds fine, because when it's a trio, you can do that. You can get away with changing chords around, as long as somebody's not singing over it. So all this is just that 6/9 voicing. We're just moving it around. So yeah, I've got that from, well, there's a lot of classic recordings that use that. I think McCoy Tyner, the piano player, popularized that a lot, and just, it's a great voice, just move around. Sometimes I'll change a couple of the bottom notes. It goes to the melody, this guitar melody. And I just play that as a single note melody. So that divides the low octave vocal melody and the high octave vocal melody. So then there's a bass solo over the verse chords. So. That's kind of cool because the second time around it presents the opportunity to do A minor, A flat, major 7, which is related to F. It's like an F minor 7 shape, even though there's no F in it. So the next chord is E minor 7. So you can just move this down. So it's got this kind of cool pattern, and Nate plays a cool solo over that. And then I just try to do variations on those chords for the bass solo. The bass starts quoting the vocal melody to cue us out of the solo. And then we go into this part. Right, we turn that into a drum solo. So normally, guitar solo plays, sometimes bass plays, go back to the body of a tune, drum solo comes at the end. Here we do the drum solo right in the middle, because that part just makes a great drum solo. And it sets up for the guitar solo that follows. So that's unusual. That's the only time we've ever done that in a tune. So for that, I'm just basically playing these fourths. I'm just moving them around. Sometimes I'll add a note on top. All right. So the drums just play around with that. We're always, me and the bass player are always keeping that rhythm, so that it's like a vamp for the drum solo. And then he cues out of the drum solos with those fills from the original. Right. Right. So that, I play that part up an octave from the original. So the chords are just B minor, A, G to A, just like the original. I just let the bass player play that, and I play this melody. I try to get as much ringing as possible, like overlap on the notes. I keep playing on that. Yeah, it's just all improvisational stuff. Eventually we get to this lick, which kind of brings us out of the solo. Right, that's from the opening solo. And then we do the one quote, which brings us back into this. And then we pretty much wrap up the song from there. 2, 3, 4. This is the ending. So the drums go back to the original groove. Yeah, there should be a little more of a retard on that climb, but that's the idea. Okay, we're going to look at a little bit of the outro solo from Fade to Black, and this is some accompaniment that I recorded on guitar. Originally, it's just the bass playing, B minor to A to G, back to A. So this rhythm is just an interpretation of that on guitar, and it just sets up a little bit of what I do on the outro solo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the melody, the B minor melody, that segues into the outro solo with a few of the licks in the style that I played it on the record.